What's up, traders? Andrew O'Connell here with Pristine Capital. It is Friday, TGIF. What an awesome day in the market. Let's dive in. We're going to talk about it, and we're also going to talk about the new feature that we're adding to our Discord server. We're just trying to add things left and right. You know, my goal is really just to give everyone the best experience possible, the best trade alerts possible, best market analysis, best tools at the best prices. So the new feature we're going to be adding in is a squawk feature. All right, let's dive into the video and let's take a look at these headline indices. S&P 500 finished up the day 3.18%. Our NASDAQ QQQ was up 3.43%. I'm still long my TQQQ common shares. We have the IWM, which was up 3.1%. Our dogs of the Dow, they were dogs. They were up only 2.7%. And our ARK Innovation ETF, we are still riding the Cathie Wood train. I'm still long my ARK calls that expire in January of 2023. Pretty much everything closed at the top end of the day's range. We did have a nice volatility crush, which is great. The market breadth was very positive. We finished out the day with 77.2% up volume. And my trend model remains at a +1. The trend model is super important. If you always follow this trend model, then there's no way you can really stay on the wrong side of the market. And this is one of my favorite tools that I use. Take a look. We have crude oil month-to-date performance. Crude oil did have a rally today, and that's okay. When something's in a bearish trend, it starts to roll over. There are very violent bear market rallies. Crude oil is still down for the month of June, so far 6.2%. And with lower crude oil prices is lower inflation prints, and with lower inflation prints is a more dovish Federal Reserve. Finviz heat map, this thing just looks, lit up like a Christmas tree. We had Google up 5.2%. But you can see healthcare has been very strong. A lot of these areas we've been talking about in our daily recaps. Healthcare is very strong. Solar energy and clean energy. Chinese stocks as well. Those are like the big stalwarts that are performing very well off the lows. Sectors. Check it out. Yeah, biotech, which is in our #1 momentum slot, only finished up 1.09%. This did show a little bit of, I guess you could call it, relative weakness. Now, if you're just looking at relative weakness and relative strength on a day-to-day basis, you might be like, oh, man, these biotechs aren't so good anymore. But keep in mind, the biotechs, they're up 16% on the week. So yeah, these definitely needed some sort of rest or consolidation. And we can see the other top momentum slots: genomics, Chinese tech, and the ARK Innovation ETFs in our #4 slot. Let's go. Now at the bottom of our list, we have the YOLO Cannabis ETF, the MSOS, as well as energy is now in our bottom slot. Would you look at that? We had the growth style factor up 3.69%. High beta was up 4.67%. So this really was an explosion. And we've been talking about this. Remember, like, we've had this thesis based on our fundamental work, technical work, macro work, that, hey, the inflation data could slow due to these commodity prices coming off. And with everyone so bearish and most money managers completely out of the market, that incremental positive is going to lead to some buying in the market. So that's exactly what we're seeing here, where money is starting to come back in. S&P 500 finished out the day very strong again. And look at this. We broke above our monthly value area low, which is fantastic, at 3888.25. And look at this, we had about a week or two of basing action, and the price action really tightened up. The tightening price action is what you want to see when you're looking for a bottom. I know it was super tough to stay patient here, but if you're patient, you stuck with it, boom, we got this nice green candle. I would not be surprised in the slightest bit if we got a retest of the 20-day simple moving average next week, and we got this test of the monthly point of control at 3964.5. Check out our NASDAQ. The NASDAQ finished up 3.37%. Look at this. We're out above the 20-day simple moving average, and we're testing that monthly point of control. Because remember, the NASDAQ is more sensitive to duration than is the S&P 500, the Russell, the Dow Jones. Russell 2000 also broke into value. Our Dow Jones also testing the bottom of value. It is being a laggard. But overall, hey, these markets, they're looking pretty solid. They're starting to repair on a technical basis. Let's jump over to crude. Again, like, we just got to pull a retest of the 5-day EMA, that is perfectly fine. That is not problematic. Even if we got a retest of this 10 EMA up here or something like that, it's not really that bad. What I would not like to see, however, is crude oil break above this monthly value area high at around 111.66. Alright, yeah, let's take a look at trades for the day. We're going to keep this video pretty brief because I know everyone wants to just run off for the weekend. Futu. So for common stocks, basically my mindset for today was, hey, I'm already long the market. I'm max long via common stock via options as well. So I started looking at my portfolio. Hey, let me take a look at things that might not be like the best position. Let me see if I can take profits on some of those. That way I can make room as more opportunities start arising in the market. So I closed out Futu for $51.79. I'd paid $49.02 for this just a few days ago. I think I put this on like 2 sessions ago. And I put here nailing down decent profits. I'm not certain that this is a true leader of the Chinese names. I'm still long the FXI ETF. I mean, I think the whole market is likely to head higher, but it's really just, hey, Futu still looking pretty decent. We have this VPOC ahead, but it's not a leader in the same way that like Li Auto is. So look at this one. This one really is the leader of the pack. I said, hey, let me substitute out of a non-leadership stock. And now I get to reassess the market over the weekend where I have all this clock time. I get to reassess. I get to do all my scans, all my screens, all my relative strength analysis. And then I put all of that together into our weekend watch list video, which I send to all Pristine Capital members. So if you're interested in becoming a member of our trading community, go ahead, sign up at pristinecapital.net. We would love to have you. Anyway, shameless plug over. So I closed out my Futu. And then what else did we do? We did take some profits on some options trades as well. QQQJ, I closed out my December 16th 23 strike calls for $295. I had paid $285. This is another area of the market that I do think has a lot of upside. It's just when I look at the holdings in this ETF, I think there are stronger stocks that I can invest in just solo. Now that we see the relative strength in the market, now I'm moving away from the broader based ETFs, and now I'm sort of moving more to the individual names. So yeah, closed that one out. Very small winner there. I also closed out my SPY July 15th 380 calls for $13.42. I'd paid $12.70 for these. And with these calls, I could have held on to these for longer. Who knows, maybe if I hold them in the next week, they end up like being a double or something like that. But I noticed the theta decay that I was paying every single day. It was like 23 cents, a little bit much. So I was like, hey, I can reallocate to a new opportunity. And if I really want to, I can just roll these out to like August or September calls. The one trade that I did add on to the books was MSOS. This is a cannabis ETF. I got long the January 19th, 2024 13 strike calls for $3.50. And I put here, I'm gonna let these marinate for a long time. There's no doubt in my mind that cannabis stocks are gonna double and triple as soon as some sort of legislation or further friendliness towards the industry is introduced. So I did notice that there was like some chatter, some headlines, and this Biden administration, they made this rule that it was like, if you have a prior history of cannabis and you've smoked it before, then like you're gonna get fired from your job, which is like totally opposite to really what they ran on, which was legalization. But anyway, yeah, that was actually repealed, I believe. And so as I saw that, I'm like, hey, these things, look at the path. These companies are actually fantastic. They've gotten absolutely destroyed. We are starting to see more tight action. And I just really wanted to get this exposure on the books. Because again, I think at some point in the next year and a half, it might not be full legalization, nothing like that. But I think even as we get closer to the next election, let's say if there's just like a few candidates that are saying, hey, like, we're interested in cannabis legalization, are investors going to wait until after the election to start pricing in that probability? No, likely not. So really, I'm just taking advantage of how washed out this is and kind of just taking a shot here, to be perfectly honest. So we'll see. Those, I'm going to let them marinate for a while. We'll see if they end up doing anything. So yeah, those are my trades for today. And then new feature for the Discord, we're going to be adding in this weekend a squawk feature. So what that's going to look like is I'm posting things throughout the day for our members. So I have a lot of deliverables that I give out every single day, a lot of analysis, a lot of proprietary indicators, charts, really just things for analyzing market trends. And we're going to be building out more of these as well. So like for instance, this is something that we're posting every day now. Check this out. Like this is our dark index template right here. And so for instance, like if I post this in the chat, I'll just squawk out, hey, the dark index dashboard is out, or some economic data drops. Hey, here's how the economic indicator looks, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here's the trade that we're posting in the trades channel, things like that, just to give you a more live commentary. And especially if you're sitting at your desk, you don't have the time to be like reading all day. You can literally just listen for my voice as it pops up throughout the session. With that being said, that about does it for this market recap video. Hope you all had an awesome trading week. It was a very fun week. We actually, a lot of our thesis actually came to fruition, which is pretty awesome. Definitely get some time to recharge away from the screens. Again, I'm going to be sending you our weekend market analysis video and our weekend watch list video, so stay tuned for those. Have a great weekend, everyone.